ID. So we need 5 at the door. All right. All right, you're good. You go inside.
We're just going right into this, y'all. I have one of my closest friends. This is Nick, and this is Nick, the mayor of Sludge City. He's taking his time.
Self-appointed.
He's taking his time out of his incredibly busy day.
I was not voted in.
Actually, he's had to mute all the hazard, symbols and sounds that are coming from his office. So let's just get right into Mr. Mayor.
Let's just get right into this. You know what shirt I'm wearing right now, Christy?
What are you wearing?
You know what shirt I'm wearing right now?
No, because you have your camera on.
95 Corolla t-shirt right here.
Oh, what? Okay, well, it's funny. 95 Corolla was thinking about taking a trip up to Sludge City. And you had asked us to do a performance there, but we were sure it wasn't meeting safety concerns. So
you listen. Generally, people don't read the fine print, and you guys read the fine print. So
we listen. We all wear glasses, and we're all nervous. The rumors are unsubstantiated.
You saw the stage; it was sound.
Yeah. Let's dive into this. Let's dive into this whole thing because you are. I'd say when it comes to like synth-punk shit that you're doing right now, there's the people that I've talked to. I think it's like you and Super Destroyer. Like, and there's a lot of others, but you two are like kind of, in our realm and like in the bubbles that we all talk to. And in everything, it's just you two that are kind of representing this entire scene.
In terms of DIY, I would agree. Analog Heart kind of has that same. Yeah,
I'd say so. And even a little bit of Huachuca Aerostat.
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Huachuca Aerostat?
No.
You would love it. It's I'll send it to you. Homie lives actually in Murfreesboro. And I interviewed him like on my 4th podcast, and he has. It's like the robot synth stuff, but it's a little bit more guitars. But it's all about robots, and it's all about like it's all the Analog Heart stuff.
And someone else I would consider, and maybe not quite in our scene, but they're in our scene is and this is kind of a long shot, but Perennial.
Perennial's
they
use
a lot of synths. They use a lot of minimalist art punk is kind of what they are, and I mean that's kind of similar in a way. They use a lot of synths.
Well, and like they have a vibe that's like, they have some synths and it's punky. And I'd say that you guys are pretty, like, if you are like pedal to the metal of like synths and like soundscapes and stuff, I'd say that Perennial and the soundscapey stuff, they do the same thing. Like some of that. And it's really sick. And that record is going to be awesome.
I ordered it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ordered vinyl.
So tell me kind of about, I think we've already talked about like kind of the music. But I'd like to talk a little bit more about like, now that it's out, how are you feeling about it? Like that's the concept of like having a record just come out is really exciting, but it also can have like some weird stuff along with it. So I just kind of want to know how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, it's been really nerve-wracking. Less nerve-wracking now that it's out. But I was going through and continue to go through a lot of things when I was writing that album. Over the course of that entire, I don't know, probably started in September, October. And I mean, since then, my life has completely changed.
You kind of
in more ways than one, and good and bad.
Yeah, dog. Because like when we talked last, you were like, I mean, you were 15, 20 episodes ago, and your whole situation is completely different now that you have like Reply Guy Records, now that this is like your second release through them is coming out, and a secret third release is going to come out, and it's going to be fun. But like, you're doing like all this cool shit, like, but there's also like stuff that's going on in the background as well, which contributes to this whole experience.
Yeah. And like, there was a point during this where I didn't know if I was gonna, if I had any of it, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to release it, in terms of, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to finish it. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to have the files. I lost everything at one point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was definitely a trip, and like a lot of the subject matter and all the lyrics came, like, this was really not supposed to be a lyric forward thing. And it kind of turned into that just because, I don't know, I did a lot of the instrumentals, and then like with Goodbye All, for example, I mean, I did that. I released it as a single, as an instrumental. But later I was like, I don't know, I like it better with this. And I feel like, I don't know, I kind of wrote all of the lyrics and as all of the songs really as just I was experiencing, like, being a new dad in a society that doesn't quite take care of their own citizens and things like that. And that's pretty much why I made it. It was just like it was an outlet to yell and make screechy noises.
Do you think that like you're there's a casualness to how you treat your songs in a way as well, because you're like, oh, this is cool, but I like it different on this way, and it's like there isn't a like once it's out kind of thing, which I really appreciate, because I feel like a lot of people, once a song's out, they don't want to fucking touch it.
No, and I was listening to Sludge City there yesterday, or like earlier today or yesterday, I can't remember exactly when, but I was just thinking like, damn, I wish I would have changed this, which I technically, well, I can't because I don't really have any of the files and I could do that. But
what would you change?
Oh, I just have some other ideas that I would add. It's not really, I wouldn't take away anything. There's just, I don't know. There are certain things that I was like,
I think that's funny, because it's like sometimes like the record is never done and you have to release it just to kind of get it out.
Yeah.
And like, you can re-release stuff like years later and just like, yeah, we've added a bunch of extra stuff. I just think people are excited for kind of you as you were just on Sad Jams. Like, that's really fucking huge. That's so sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, that's, someone saw that and was like, hey, this is not just soundscapey stuff. These are songs, my guy. Like, and I know that we talked about this last time about like, listen, you're kind of learning how to like write songs rather than like these grand pieces.
Yeah. And I'm learning how to do everything, which is fun and also frustrating.
Oh yeah.
Cause I can't always translate like what the sound I hear in my head to, I don't exactly know how to translate it into through like a chain, or like, like what exact effect I need to use to get what I'm trying to do.
And you're like, this isolator, this versus this, using this square wave and using this and using this. Like, I mean, synth stuff is like, I think a lot of people in guitars, a lot of people argue about tunings and like humbuckers and single coil versus all that stuff, where like synth people, it's like, there is so much that you can do synth-wise. You can turn it into a guitar. You could turn it into a drum. You could turn it into all this stuff. And I feel like that learning curve will always be stiffer than learning guitar.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I mean, I don't want to say there's a lot more, but there's a lot of nuance to...
Oh, yeah, it's more. It's fucking more. It's fine.
Because, I mean, I couldn't replicate any sound I made on Sludge City right at all. Because I don't know, I don't know what the settings are. I didn't memorize the settings.
Oh, that's so funny. It's just like you kind of like went, that's interesting, because it's like you went blind into like your paint palette and you don't know how to make that paint again.
Yeah. And like, I don't particularly know how chains work or what the proper order for effects to be in are. So I don't know, because people were asking me like, what effects did you use for this? And I was like, I don't remember. There's some reverb in there. I know that. There's some, I don't know, maybe a phaser. I don't recall. And and the thing is that I would just add effects and fuck with it a bunch. And then if it sounded cool, I'd leave it and never really look at it again.
So, and we could edit this out if you want, but do you think that like you should get a new iPad for every record?
Why? because I'm so fucking disorganized.
Yeah, well, it's the concept. Did you lose your iPad? Is that because remember you had said that like you lost your iPad or something?
Yeah, I no longer have my iPad anymore.
And that was what you made the whole record on.
Yes.
And so like now when you get you're gonna get a new like I guess I'm thinking for like the third record, like you're gonna get a new iPad, or you're gonna do a new thing. And you're going to completely, basically start over again. And then you should do that again when you do your third record.
Dog, I'm not buying another goddamn iPad. I'm getting a MacBook. I'm getting Logic Pro X, baby. I'm done with Logic Pro for iPad.
That's funny. Okay. It is an upgrade. Let me fucking tell you.
Yeah, I don't have Logic Pro for iPad doesn't have flex pitch.
What is flex pitch like? I don't even know.
Very useful. It's very useful in.
Is that the auto-tune thing?
It's the auto-tune thing, but it's more of like a voice sculpture.
Oh,
like
cool.
It's not just like a pitch correction.
I bet I have it and never fucked with it. But
you probably. I mean, it's a stock Logic plugin.
I'm literally looking right now as pitch.
It should be under
correction, pitch. Shifter, and vocal transformer. Probably that.
It might be under automations.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because there's flex time.
Yeah,
it's the same deal as flex time, but with pitch, basically.
Okay, that's cool. Hell yeah. Are you excited for working on new stuff now that this is out? Usually, that's kind of like the standard progress, which is like now that the record's out. You kind of there's like a lot of artists have like now there's a hole in your heart, and you have to fill it by making more stuff.
I wouldn't say there's a hole in my heart. I'm pretty content. I currently don't really have a way to make music, so like I can't right now. So, but like once I can, like I'm definitely going to, and I am excited to do it. And I already have ideas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's all I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
See where everything goes.
When it comes to like, you're kind of doing a DM world building thing. Do you have like a setting for the next record?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's because like, I know that there's like this kind of almost fluid setting for Sludge City. Sludge City is a place, and it's also a state of mind, and it's also this fucking thing. Kind of dive into like why you wanted to do that.
I didn't really want to. So originally Sludge City was a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk-esque world where capitalism is like real bad. And that was the original it. And then once I was making the J card, I was looking for a font, and I found that font, and it like immediately sparked like 70s, 80s like horror sci-fi films.
Okay.
And then I was like, like I like that aesthetic, like so I'm gonna try and like do that aesthetic, and that's where a lot of like the promo videos came from in terms of like VHS style, like shit like that. Yeah, and then like I think at one point I thought of like I Survived Sludge City, and then that was where like the whole fucking amusement park part came from. And
so it kind of like turned into this theme park thing.
Yeah, and I never really picked one, so it's just kind of all of them. And
yeah, no, which is good.
It's just kind of an uncohesive dream state.
Yeah, I think that the concept that we all kind of get it. I think there's this thing that like everyone understands, that everyone kind of finds their ticket stub to Sludge City in their pocket already. Like everyone already has been there. Everyone is already kind of there. In like some people.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the thing of of part of, I guess the message is that, especially of like like drowning in the swamp or rats in the sewer. Like we're all drowning. You might not realize it, but you have an enormous amount of anxiety just being a human being.
Yeah,
and it's a normal base level, you know, so you don't notice it, but it's there. And we're all drowning, and we're all having to deal with shit, you know, of different scales, from me all the way up. You know what I'm saying? In terms of poverty level, in terms of class, like we all are dealing with shit. We're all not happy. I don't care who you are. Happiness is a fleeting thing that happens every once in a while, and it happens, but it's not a very constant thing, and that's okay, and it shouldn't be. Yeah, and like with rats in the sewer, like we're all just rats in the sewer. Like we're all just trying to get out of the cesspool and to the city, to where we want to be, you know?
Yeah, I think that like you grabbed it. I think there's something like you are, first of all, you're such a proponent of like the DIY space. And so you have a lot of friends in this space, but I think that there's a lot of people that are like really vibing with this sound because like, first of all, let's talk about this record in itself, because it's a fucking horror film. It's got great beats. It's got like, it's kind of like, remember how like when you listen to Death Grips for the first time, you're like, cool, this is the most terrifying band in the world. That's kind of like what it feels like, but it's like realizing that you're just expressing what everybody else is thinking. And there's some really tender moments in this record, like when you're talking about your anxiety and how you want to talk, you know, is that Dream Sequence Part 2, where you're having the talk, like it's not to your doctor, but you're talking
about
your doctor.
It's like a voicemail-esque type thing.
Yeah, voicemail-esque type thing. It's just like there's tender moments, there's terrifying moments, and it's all supposed to fucking like wake you up. Like that is kind of how I look at this record, is like, hey, here's the state of kind of everything. Here's the post halcyon moment. Here's the now of like everything that is happening. Here's the state. And it's garbage. It sucks. And I think that if you kind of keep tapping into that, you get to kind of make records that are like, when we talk about emo, it's always kind of talking about the past. You and I have talked about that. And you get to do this thing in DIY where you get to talk about now, which is fucking fascinating and fucking cool.
Huh, I never really thought about that. But yeah,
it's my job. I'm supposed to do the thinking. My job to ask the questions. Like you texted me earlier, like I can't wait for your questions. I'm like, you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I feel like I am drowning. I feel like nobody that could help me cares. I feel like the government doesn't care at any level.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of just wanted to yell about it.
Do you feel like...
we'll go. Sorry.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, and I love the fact that Super Destroyer, and like that's what's so funny to me, or not funny per se, but interesting, is that with Super Destroyer and with the Losing Team and with Ultra Deluxe, you know, I gave them instrumentals. Well, I gave Super Destroyer and Rosie instrumentals, and I said, do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave, you know, Max, I gave a verse and then to repeat the chorus basically. But so they and you know, they all knew the theme of the album, I guess, but like they wrote like exactly what it is, you know.
It's because you're tapping in, man. Like this is everyone fucking gets it.
And that's, I don't know, that gave me more confidence as like each feature came back, and I was just like, holy shit. Like with Super Destroyer, when he asks, you know, do you really understand how dark that is? That's my favorite line in the entire album. Cause it was just like, right when he said that, I was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, you're listening to this song, and then somebody goes, do you understand what I just said? Do you understand that's fucked up right there?
Yeah.
And you go, oh shit. Yeah. Like I do the same thing, you know? I fucking scroll on TikTok all day to distract myself from the fact I have to get up in the morning and do shit the same way again and again.
Yeah, I think that, again, like this thing that you're tapping into, which is this anti-capitalistic, anti-gov, pro-revolution, you're talking about all the things that we, like, you know, we should all learn how to make a Molotov cocktail. And
yeah.
And like, it's not about like even political stuff. It's about like, hey, fucking enough just in general. And it's
because what we're doing now ain't it.
No,
not working.
Whatever this isn't working. Start it over.
We need to shift gears here, because we've been trying for a long time to like better the world, and it was going good, and now it's getting worse.
And it's not. Secretly, we all bought tickets to Sludge City, and it wasn't up to us.
And that's cool.
That's the whole thing.
Kind of. Not really cool. It's pretty terrible. But
well, it's you kind of gave, like, I think about that. It's just so funny. What you've done is you've kind of created like this. I'll never use this word right, but I feel like it's zeitgeist. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I think of, when I think of like this thing that's happening, I now have a image and like name for it. It's just fucking Sludge City.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I didn't do that consciously per se. And like you said, like I play a lot of D&D, and like my brain just kind of does that whenever I think of anything slightly creative. Dog. I just kind of world build into like what this place would be, and
it works. I don't know. There's something about that you did that worked. And like, there's a lot of things that you did right. There's a lot of great songs. There's so many good songs on here. And I
mean, you know how it is. You listen to a song, you're making a song, you listen to it over and over and over and over and over, and you think it sucks.
Oh, dude. Well, that's actually a very specific thing of mine, where the song is done when you think it, and you fucking hate it.
Yo, no, I agree with that. I do agree.
Like when you're fucking.
I say that. I say that a lot.
When you hate a song, you're like, okay, cool. I'm just put it out. It's done. Because everyone else will pick it up where you left off.
Yeah.
In a weird way. But you've created a cool thing, man. And I'm just very proud of you. When it comes to like the future, what is the next like 6 months of Cacophony Kid look like?
I think just promoting vacations to Sludge City.
Yeah.
And I don't know, getting what are they called? Like not instruments, but like things I need to make music.
Yeah.
I have a MacBook. The screen's broken, but I can plug it into my keyboard or my you know what I mean, my monitor.
Yeah, if you have do you have a MIDI controller?
No, I need to get one of those, and then I need to get Logic, and that's pretty much it. Really, all I need.
Yeah, dude, just get a little MIDI controller, and I think that like you're gonna be golden, because like I think that there's gonna be like you kind of captured a height. You know, you're almost at 1,000 streams. That's fucking crazy. That feels good.
Yeah, that's
like
how does
that
see.
feel?
Well, the top streams I've had before that was, I think, one of my songs just hit 200 the other day.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, and to hit 420 streams on 420
Okay.
I hit 420 followers on 420.
Okay, hell yeah, that's perfect.
So it was just 420 out.
Yeah, it's like everything, the stars and the joints aligned.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
that's how they got lit. These stars lit these joints.
And, I think it's just been one thing that I think that I really like about the artist side of you is that you're just having so much fun. And you remind us just to have as much fun as possible when it comes to this stuff. And to be, there's a seriousness.
That's the point to it.
Yeah.
Because listen, I'm not doing this shit for money.
No,
you know what I mean?
None of us are. Everyone, we have to do it
for fun, and I'm doing it because I don't know. It's the best way for me to fucking feel normal. I feel like at this point. I think that's a good way of putting it, because it's like I've talked about like a lot of artists where what people have to do is just like it spills out of them and you catch it and you present it. And I think that with you, it's like it kind of you yell it. It also kind of oozes out of you and you're catching it. Like it's like that. This thing is just like oozing out of you, and you're like, because it's been this like ache. It's like the irritation, the frustration. This whole thing is like when you're hungover and like you can feel yourself sweating that alcohol out. Yeah.
Like this is your frustrations but like these are the frustrations of like everyone. Like, and it oozes out of you just like that, and you're like wiping it up and throwing it into digital space. It's so cool.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back to what you're saying about the DIY community and stuff, like I insert myself a lot in the DIY emo specific community. Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of like what I listen to. And it's just nice to see support from a lot of like, Wax Bodega fans, Riley fans, all, I don't want to say traditional emo, but I guess traditional emo. It's just this emo thing. This emo thing loves you. Just embrace and listen to something that sounds like kind of like shit, if we're going to be honest.
Oh my God, shut up.
No, but that was kind of the point.
I get that.
It's not supposed to be beautiful. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to make you feel good.
No, it is a terrifying record that you made. Like I said, but
at the same time, there is this sense, I feel like, in my opinion, there is this sense of overall hopefulness in terms of like, and I feel like Goodbye All kind of wraps up well, where it's like,
that's the moment. Like when you're like, okay, cool. There's a light at the end of the fucking tunnel.
Yeah. And maybe it's not real. It's possible.
It may be pixelated.
Might be like a Roadrunner situation.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that you're like, listen, no, there is hope, manufactured hope, but
it's
like,
there.
It's there. Yeah, I think that in this space, I think everyone listens to everything. It's just the music that we make. The music that DIY emo makes is like, it's not up to everyone. This is just the music that we make and how everyone's making it. You happen to be like on a strange side of DIY, which has its own space, but these two circles are just beginning to overlap, and you and Super Destroyer are like liaisons between these two bubbles.
I mean, everybody on Lonely Ghost is I would say a liaison of weird music.
I'd say so. I mean, Hey, I Love You is like,
Hey, I Love You is great.
They're great, and I love them.
Heart's great.
Analog is so good.
Hacker, I wish would come back.
Yeah, I mean, like it's actually like the next record you do. Would Lonely Ghost be the best home for you?
Oh,
or
I wouldn't be opposed.
I
wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed.
Like, I mean, there's like
we'd have to have a chat.
If there's
but I wouldn't be opposed.
If there's a house, if there's like, a neighborhood and there are all the record labels, right?
Yeah.
That would be, there's a bunch of houses that you would go and approach. Like, hey, I'm releasing the second record. So Lonely Ghost would be on the list. Who else would be on the list? That where you're like, I'm looking to join a family.
So I'll say this. So when I first found what DIY was, in a way, I didn't really know what DIY was when I found it. But the first person I ever found in the DIY scene on Instagram was Super Destroyer. And I followed them in like 2017 or 2018, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to them for a long time. And then they're really my first, I guess, big like push into like DIY was like Somewhere City.
Yeah.
It's also a slight inspiration for Sludge City, but
totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, you know, in terms of if I would go anywhere, it'd probably be Reply Guy or Lonely Ghost.
Oh yeah. I think that's sick. I think that like knowing your space, knowing your place in this space is a good thing. And like, you seem like that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable as an artist in this space as well.
Yeah, I am. I mean, still kind of weird.
Totally.
Yeah, I do. I know I've been also going to a lot more shows and I don't like meeting a lot more people that like on Twitter. And I don't know, just hearing somebody call me Cacophony Kid in like a real world setting is very strange to me still, and I don't really.
Yeah, I think I think you should never it should never not feel weird, because if it doesn't feel weird, it means that like there's like I talked to my partner a lot about this, where staying humble as an artist is like the most important thing. So it should always be weird. It should always be like this is strange that like this is even happening.
Yeah.
I think everyone is so lucky to be making music right now. It's so crazy.
Oh, I agree. And the music, gosh, man. I mean, the releases last week, crazy. This week, nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times I can say, it's the best release for DIY.
I think this is the year. I think like starting 2023 was crazy, but like 2024, whatever's happening right now is like, it's massive. I feel like I've never heard good music like this in so long. Like I just listened to With Sails Ahead for the first time.
Yeah.
So good. Like it's like this, it's got like this post-hardcore thing that reminds me so much of like Circa Survive and like Say Ocean and stuff. And like, it's just, I'm so surprised in a good way every day in this scene, because there's just so much fucking music coming out, and it's a little overwhelming because it's like I hope I have a chance to listen to it all, like, and then at the end of the year when we're all gonna have to fucking rank this stuff, well, I do it.
I ain't ranking shit.
I have to.
I'll tell you that right now. I ain't doing it. Everything. It's just like it's hard, and I'm not gonna. I don't know, because. I don't know, and it's kind of like goes into also like when people ask me like what my inspirations are, and it's like I don't know, everything I've ever listened to.
Is like what's funny is
a real answer.
Also, what's funny is also like movies for you.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm like, I don't feel like video game soundtracks, movie soundtracks, like Chappie. The Chappie soundtrack is a big one.
That's funny, and not a lot of people have seen that fucking movie.
Have you seen that movie?
I have. I didn't, because I heard it was bad.
It's terrible.
Like I heard it's a fucking god awful movie.
It's terrible. It's a terrible movie. But
I did not know the soundtrack was that good.
After this is over, I need you to listen to it. I'll send you a song.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
From that soundtrack, and
that's very funny. That you're like, hey, this weird obscure movie that everyone hated. The soundtrack, though.
Well, Hans Zimmer. Anything Hans Zimmer does is great. He did Interstellar. He did Batman Beyond, or not Batman.
Did Zimmer do Chappie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I mean, Zimmer does a lot of stuff, so like that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah, anything Zimmer does is great.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. It's also like a lot of punk, and clearly, and yeah, I mean that's kind of why I did synth-punk, was because I had an iPad that had GarageBand, and I didn't have or know how to play guitars or have 4 other people to do it.
Oh my god, the Sludge City band all in hazmat suits just sounds very, very funny to me.
They're all automatons too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, well, listen, we're kind of closing up to the end here. Now that the record is all the way out, what song would you like to play?
Let's do Rats in the Sewer.
Okay, cool. Here's Rats in the Sewer by Cacophony Kid. Welcome to Sludge City. By Cacophony Kid, my homie Nick, Dog.
Featuring Ultra Deluxe, let's not forget.
Featuring Ultra Deluxe, Comrade Ultra Deluxe.
Oh yeah, 100% Comrade.
Homie, thank you so much for joining and like doing this again with me, and we get to see.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely, man. I think it's really exciting to see your journey, and we're going to keep talking and doing this probably every 15, 20 episodes to see how everything's going.
I'm cool with that. I love talking to you, Christy.
All right, cool. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.